Hello everyone, it's Diane. I'd like to share a little junk journal that I made that was inspired by this woman. I am not going to attempt to pronounce her name because I don't want to butcher it. Paola is her first name. She posts, she's on Junk Journal Junkies, a group on Facebook that I'm in, and she posts pictures of pages in her journals where she does lists. And I'm so inspired by her use of little pieces. And since I have such a huge collection of little bits and pieces from vintage books, vintage magazines, even current books and magazines, scrapbook papers, and just all kinds of pieces that I collect and save, and I need to do something with them. So I have done similar things to this before, but I was so inspired by, I want to say Paola, but I'm not sure. So I don't want to mess your name up, sweetie, and I love your pages. So thank you for your inspiration. She's on, as I said, she's on Junk Journal Junkies, and I think she might have a YouTube channel now. She didn't when I first started seeing her pages, but I haven't seen her channel. I think she made mention of having a channel now. Anyway, I had made this book cover. I had already collaged all of this on here and then didn't use it for the project that I had started it for, but I thought it would be perfect for this little collage journal. It's not a collage journal, it's a list journal, but it's got, the pages have little collaged decorations on it. So I thought this would be perfect. So I went ahead and finished the cover and decorated the back cover. Sorry for the glare, but it's got gloss medium on it, I think. And this is one of the tags that Jill Robertson made for me. And she made that little tag too. Kool-Aid dyed it. This is a piece of, I think that's free ephemera from Ephemera's Vintage Garden. This is from Tsunami Rose, I think. This is out of a book. Scrapbook scraps. There's some Tim Holtz pieces here and just some scraps. Somebody sent me this card, and then there's a piece of, I think somebody sent me that too. That might have been from Lori. So let's take a look inside. First I'll show you the last signature. It's got 3 signatures. I want to show it to you before the decorations are put on it. I think there's enough pages in here to get me partway through April. I started on January 1st using it. So it has 3 signatures, as I said, and they're stitched in. And I decorated the first page of the signature with some magazine cutouts, rub-ons, and journaling card that's coffee dyed. And this ruler came out of a magazine. I just cut it out. But the other pages are blank. I just wanted to show you what it looks like before it gets decorated. So it's not coffee dyed unless the pieces that I happen to put in are coffee dyed, like that piece. It's got scraps of scrapbook paper. This is Stampin' Up! Paper, blue notebook paper, merchandise bag. Let's open on the side there. Ledger paper, dictionary paper, a vintage atlas book, World Atlas page. I love the colors on that. Music paper, ledger paper so that music can be written on it. More Stampin' Up! Paper. This is from a vintage book. This is a just a ledger paper book you can get at Walmart. And this is from a school book, a school workbook that I got at Salvation Army. This is an envelope I made out of a children's book, and the center of the signature is stitched in there. So that's one signature without decoration. This is an envelope that someone made out of scrapbook paper and tucked some goodies into it when they sent me a swap. And so I included the envelope in here. The other end of that is right there. Okay, so that's an undecorated signature. On the first page, I had put in this card that says my name is, and then I cut out letters to spell my name. And because of what I'm going through in my life right now, I am focusing on peace. And this verse, thou wilt keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on thee, because he trusts in thee. That's a verse from Isaiah. So I wrote the word peace on this little flag, and then wrote the verse out here. And then this is cut from a magazine. So I just have magazine pieces and book pieces and ephemera pieces, die cuts and things on my table, and I just go through and glue stuff down. Whoops, I forgot my addresses there. Oh well. So January 1st, 2017, and this came out of a book, this cute little peacock. And then this is a Tim Holtz calendar. The dates don't match the days on the calendar, but I'm sticking them in there anyway. And here's a short page, and I glued a owl out of a magazine and some die cuts and tab. So I'll just show you what the pages look like. These pages are decorated and written on things I'm grateful for, people that want to see me. They said that after the holidays they would get together with me. My husband passed away recently, and so that's the situation I'm dealing with at this time. It's been 5 months now, and people don't want me to be alone, so they want to spend time with me, take me to lunch. So I have a list here of the people who have said they want to spend time with me. So it's just a list of things I have to do at my work. So there's a piece of that atlas book and some die cuts. I used numbers from different scrapbook papers so that there's a variety of styles of numbers. This little lady is from a magazine. This flower is from a flower book. And this is actually paint can lids from a decorating magazine. I got a stack of those magazines from a library. They were giving them away. So each issue had a different palette of paint can lids on a certain article that they had every month. So I saved those, and I have a couple of them in this book so far. I used washi tape, Tim Holtz stickers, just whatever. There's a dictionary page. This is from a magazine, a children's book. Some of the pages have just little tiny space for writing, and some has more space, so I just make my lists dependent on how much space I have. This one has an alteration ticket inside it with a scripture verse written on the back. This is from a children's book, and this is from a vintage children's book. And so I just wrote about, my husband and I used to like to go on picnics, so I just wrote a little bit about our picnicking. This is a vintage cigarette card that I think it's Leanne Miller from Australia. I might not have the first name right, but it starts with an L. She sent me a packet of vintage things, including vintage cigarette cards. So I included a couple of them anyway in this book so far. It's from a book about Victorian days. A vintage postcard from a children's book. This illustration is from a children's book. I love the colors, and I thought it looked nice on this ledger paper. This is an envelope I made out of a children's book page, and then the journaling card is inside it. There's another one of those paint can lid palettes. Little bingo card here. And that's all the journaling I've done. Today's the 23rd, and I haven't done today's page yet. So I'll just show you the decorated pages that I've done. I love illustrations from children's books, vintage books. Goldilocks and the Three Bears. February 1st starts here. This is also from Leanne Miller from Australia. It's a 1940 tax revenue stamp from Victoria, Australia. So I included that. Didn't want it to get lost. So now it's in a book. Vintage magazine cutouts. This is a vintage lotto card. I just cut it. This is from a vintage recipe book. It actually is a book that came with a stove. So it was instructions on using the stove. And then I had these wooden spoons cut from a magazine, so I used them. Here's the next signature. This is from Daphne's Diary, this illustration. This is from a magazine. It has shades of lipstick, I think. I had this cut out from a magazine, The Emerald City of Oz, and then I actually had an old paperback, well, not too old, a cheap paperback version of The Emerald City of Oz, so I cut this illustration out of it. And then I had this from off a greeting card. It's a tag I made with my Cricut. Winnie the Pooh. I think that's from the Goldilocks and the Three Bears story also. These are playing cards, and they're not vintage, but they have vintage illustrations. A vintage Valentine postcard. And that's as far as I've decorated. There's an envelope I made out of a book page. I hated to glue it down because the back of it was prettier than this part, but there it is. And then I showed you the last signature. So I will show you this probably when it's filled. So thank you for watching, and thank you for the inspiration. Bye.